The movie, inspired by true events, opens with our main protagonist, B, being rushed to the hospital after slipping into a coma. Doctors examine her condition as her chaotic family visits her. While still in a coma, B decides to go back to the beginning of her story to explain how she ended up in the hospital. B's parents, Sharon and Derek, both have intellectual disabilities. Derek's mental development stopped at age 12 due to a drunk driving accident, and Sharon's brain didn't fully develop, leading to the belief that she couldn't live independently. Despite these challenges, Sharon and Derek fell in love at first sight and eventually married. Initially, their parents were uncertain about their union but reluctantly approved. Derek's mother, Loretta, wanted Sharon to get sterilized, believing the couple couldn't raise a child. Sharon's mother, Peg, protested, but her husband, Earl, didn't want the responsibility of another child, having raised their intellectually disabled daughter for 21 years. They decided not to take any steps, believing the newlyweds weren't interested in romance. Soon after their marriage, B was born, adding pressure to Sharon's parents, who were already providing the couple a home. B was named after Sharon's favorite cartoon character, Bambi. Initially, Peg and Earl helped care for B. But as time passed, Earl grew tired of being the family's only breadwinner, suggesting that Derek move out with his family. Peg wanted Sharon and Derek to stay, not trusting them to care for B or themselves. However, Derek insisted they move out and live as a family, which they eventually did, settling in Nevada, first living in a van and later buying a house. Fast-forwarding to the present, a social worker named Mary arrives at the hospital to investigate the circumstances of B's coma. She speaks with B's family members. In the flashback, B's childhood is depicted as joyful, with Sharon and Derek working hard to provide for her. However, when B turned 10, her parents began placing more responsibilities on her. Derek even taught her to drive at a young age, promising her anything she wanted in return, which led her to get a dog named Godzilla. According to B, they enjoyed a happy life in a trailer park, then in their new home. However, B took on responsibilities far beyond her years, such as caring for her dog, looking after herself, and sometimes even her mother. During one driving lesson, B tells her father how her classmates mock them. Derek, saddened, assures her that they're just special. One day, Sharon accidentally leaves the door open, and Godzilla escapes. Determined to retrieve her pet, B drives her dad's truck but crashes it, prompting a visit from Child Services. This is the first time she meets Mary, the social worker, to whom B confides her struggles in taking care of Godzilla and her parents. B's aunt and uncle, Joy and Ben, then suggest it might be beneficial for her to stay with them. She spends the summer with them, finding the experience disorienting as she's unaccustomed to being cared for. After a near accident in a swimming pool, Ben realizes B needs more parental guidance, and they take a more active role in her upbringing, primarily her education. B enrolls in a private school, excelling academically and joining the track team, but still suffers bullying. She eventually befriends Ethan, a cancer survivor and son of wealthy parents, who helps her in biology. B and Ethan start dating, but her commitment to her family strains her friendship with Nia. As her senior year progresses, B's guidance counselor, Mr. Vasquez, encourages her to apply to college. Although she has the grades for scholarships, she hesitates, fearing her parents won't manage without her. Yet, Mr. Vasquez points her toward UCLA's astronomy program, sparking her interest. Eventually, she decides to apply. Spending more time with Ethan also pushes her to consider her future beyond her family. However, conflict erupts when B discovers her parents' recent struggles, including her father's job loss. When Derek insists Sharon isn't disabled but special, B, frustrated, retorts that special is a term people use to avoid guilt about her mother's condition. Derek loses his patience, and they argue. The next day, B confides in Mr. Vasquez about not going to a prestigious college. She later skips classes with Ethan, sharing her sense of obligation toward her parents. Ethan, concerned, suggests she might be using them as a reason to avoid the real world, leading to their breakup. After a reconciliation with Nia, B dedicates herself to raising funds for prom and Disneyland. But a tragic incident unfolds when she accepts a ride from an older schoolmate's brother, Andy, who assaults her. She escapes the van but collapses, hitting her head. The boys, panicked, leave her at the hospital. Regaining consciousness, B expresses her love for her family. Social worker Mary concludes her review, assuring B her family isn't the most chaotic she's seen. Ethan later visits, apologizing, and they reconcile. B is eventually discharged and graduates high school. Despite her hesitations, Derek reassures her about attending college, and B applies to UCLA. The movie ends with B's family, especially Derek and Sharon, joyfully celebrating her acceptance and driving her to college. In a touching credit scene, real family photos of B and an update show that she is now in her third year at UCLA.